My guest tonight is a 21-time Grammy Award-winning performer who last month threatened his very existence by insulting one of America's most beloved television personalities. We had a big dumb fight on Twitter, but he was nice enough to agree to come and talk about it tonight. Please welcome Kanye West.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. I'm very happy that you came, and I'm glad you did, and I wanted to clear this up. I really felt bad about all of this stuff. I did. Mm-hmm. And I guess the first question I should ask is, who are you wearing?
It's Ralph.
Ralph,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cramden, Lauren?
Yeah.
Is that a new grill you have there?
Yeah, they've been in my mouth for 3 years.
That one on the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah. Well, it's good to see you.
Good seeing you too.
I guess we should kind of talk about what happened, because I do think that I think that somewhere in you want people to understand where you're coming from. Is that true?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So we did a sketch on the show where you did an interview with the BBC Radio, mm-hmm. and it was an intense interview. And I'll be honest with you, I only saw a couple of little parts of the interview when we did this sketch.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. And yeah, which, it's not, but in fairness, there was context to it, and we took it out of context, yeah. And we had a couple of little kids reenact it, mm-hmm. which, I didn't think would be something that bothered you. Actually, we have a little clip of it. Do you mind if we play, just so people understand what it is?
I reached a point in my life where my true showboat has hit the painting. I'm not trying to regurgitate myself. I'm a prime person, not just clothing, but water bottle design, architecture, everything you can think about. Brought the leather jogging pants 6 years ago to Fendi, and they said no. How many motherfuckers have you done seen with leather jogging pants?
Now, I will tell you that the truth is, the main reason that I did that is because I like to see kids curse. I think it's funny. And I think that some people read into it differently, like that we were positioning you as a child, which was not the case. And in fact, that is something that we've done with a number of people, with Lady Gaga, with quite a few people, where we've had kids say what they said and reenact it. But of course, this is not something you knew, and this is not something that probably people who just watched it online or whatever knew. And you called me, and you were, I know people, a lot of people, most people maybe even think this is some publicity stunt that you and I cooked up. But this isn't, right?
Yeah, everyone out there in TV world, real world, whatever world you stay in needs to know that I've never done a publicity stunt in my life. Anytime I went up and spoke my mind, whether it put my career in jeopardy or whatever someone so-called said, it was always what I thought was the truth, whether I'm like reading through a teleprompter or whatever I felt emotionally. I don't follow like rules of normal celebrity or what their publicist tells them to say or anything. So I don't do publicity stunts, period. So, don't ever think that.
Yeah, me neither, guys. So we talked on the phone, and I didn't really know why you were calling. I'd heard you were upset, and I didn't know what exactly the context was. And we had a bad conversation, right?
Yeah, I just think that, I knew you before, and I remember you, telling me after, I saw you at a wedding, and I've seen you a couple of times saying, hey, I want people to know this side of you and different things like this. Like, I saw this good guy that was at this wedding and blah, blah, blah. So, when I saw the skit, which I didn't even watch all the way through because I didn't want to be infuriated, I said, well, I know you, And so a combination of me knowing you, but also me not knowing the person who put, a bad headline on the cover of In Touch, and me not knowing this person, I was like, well, this is the one person I know. So I can go and let out everything that I feel about every single bogus weekly cover, every single bogus skit, every single rumor in barbershop, everything that people feel is okay to treat celebrities like zoo animals or act like what they're saying is not serious or their life is not serious or their dreams are not serious. And, you know, it kind of just went and kind of elevated from a call that we just had as men where, you know, that elevates sometimes. You take a guy, you know, Jimmy, he does his thing and everything. I do my thing. And at a certain point, you know, these egos can flare up and everything. And, you know, we kind of just took it back to high school for a little bit. And that's, you know, that's what happened. So, yeah.
And I got beat up a lot in high school, so I didn't want to go back to high school. But, no, and this is something that, just to be honest with everyone, this is something that when you're with another celebrity, we complain about the zoo animal is it's a perfect thing, because there's just this kind of people online especially just want you to click through, and so they'll put whatever they have to put as the headline to get you to click through, and it can be damaging. And I think people look at you and they go, this is a guy who's got millions of dollars, he's got a beautiful wife, he's got a new baby, we can't possibly hurt this guy. I mean, and to be honest, like, even though I'm in that same position too, I don't have a baby, but even though I'm in that same position, you know, it's not something that comes to my mind when I'm cooking up a comedy sketch. And it is, and some of these things are hurtful, and the truth is important, and it's, you know, but on the other hand, I also will say that a lot of times, I think you bring it on yourself, this kind of misunderstanding about you. I personally found it odd to be in the position that I was in, because, as you said, because I don't know if you know this, a lot of people think you're a jerk. And I often, in my own personal conversations, say, no, I know this guy. He is not a jerk. I'm telling you, he is not a jerk. In fact, I think we have a picture, which I happen to see on my dad's iPad at the wedding. And it's you and my dad, who you may have thought was Wolf Blitzer, in fairness. But, I mean, you know, to go to a wedding of a friend of mine, I think you took a Southwest Airlines flight out to that wedding just to make it to this guy who was just a coworker, just to go to his wedding, and then to be so nice to everyone there. That, to me, tells me a lot about you. Everyone's nice to me when I meet them, because they know I have a talk show, and almost everyone is on their best behavior. But what I observe is how celebrities behave around other people, how they treat our staff, and how they treat, you know, in this case, my family. And I've always said that to people about you. And I think it's important for, whether, I know part of you doesn't care. I see you on stage saying, I don't want to hold your baby, I'll drop your baby on its head, you know, these things. I don't believe any of that stuff when you say it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not running for office. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to, like, make good music, make people feel good when they hear my music. And, you know, when I did that interview, I was really vocal about a lot of things that I've been dealing with over the past 10 years when I was putting in classification of, you know, just a celebrity. Because, you know, for me, you know, I'm a creative genius, and there's no other way to word it. I know you're not supposed to say that about yourself, and I say things the wrong way a lot of times, but my intention is always positive, and I want to bring more things to the world. I want to help the world. I want to make people's lives easier. I spent 2 of my checks in telemarketing when I was 18 years old on, you know, my first pair of Gucci slippers, and this was before there was, you know, H&M and Zara. That, you know, you couldn't just find cool stuff when you were growing up, and for me, I care about cool stuff. It means something to me. It means stuff to a lot of people that are like me, and that's what I was talking about on the Zane, you know, interview. So when I come on here, you know, you know, I can laugh and I could joke and I could say a skit, and everybody can say, okay, we love Kanye, or we think his baby is cute or whatever. But, you know, for me, it's, you know, it's bigger than, you know, who I am, even in this, you know, in my presence living. It's about, you know, when I was on Earth, what did I do to help? And at what point did I hit a glass ceiling where people said, no, you know, you're a celebrity, so you can't help in this box. You can't help in this box. You can't. But, you know, I talked to Quincy Jones at John Legend's wedding, and, you know, when you do music, you can do anything. Once you learn how to produce, you're at that point a producer, and you understand textures and colors. I have an art background before I was even a musician. People told me I couldn't rap. People had all this advice for me of how I shouldn't try to rap, and, you know, and I wouldn't even say that I'm a rapper. I say I'm more of a messenger than a rapper. So even like when you say rap beef, it sort of undermines it. It keeps on recontexting what I said. When it's like, if you guys look at the Zane interview, it's really something extremely fearless for someone in my position to do, because most people just, like, you know, bow down to TV or whatever, bow down to these cameras. Like, I could care less about any of these cameras, in all honesty. All I care about is my family. I care about protecting my girl, protecting my baby, and protecting my ideas and my dreams. You know, and that's the reason why I went so crazy. You know?
I want to go back to one thing that you said, which is when you said you're a genius. Now, I think that makes people I think that upsets people, but the truth is, a lot of people think they're geniuses, and nobody says it because it's weird to say it, but it is most certainly more honest to say, I am a genius.
I'm totally weird, and I'm totally honest, and I'm totally inappropriate sometimes. And the thing is, you know, for me to say I wasn't a genius, I would just be lying to you and to myself. You know?
I like that. That's true. Yeah. It's false humility, whatever you want to call it. It's false. It's
oh my God, it comes with your first ticket to LA. You know, as soon as you get off the plane, here's the thing, a false humility. And, you know, maybe if you just keep up the act long enough and go with this agency, blah, 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 they give you a star on the Walk of Fame one day and for kissing everybody's ass. But it's like, you know, that's not what we're doing. By the way, I want to shout out the stars of the Walk of Fame right quick because they said something about they're not going to put my girl on the Walk of Fame because, you know, she's a reality star. It's like people are so dated and not modern. It's like there's no way that Kim Kardashian shouldn't have a star on the Walk of Fame. It's like, it's ridiculous old like concepts. And, you know, for me, it's like, I'm just gonna give y'all the truth and y'all gonna learn to love it. And it's like my grandfather loved Ali till he died and my grandmother hated Ali till she passed, you know? So you're gonna love me or you're gonna hate me, but I'm gonna be me.
All right, Kanye West is here. More with Kanye when we come back.
Best tweets of Kanye West.
Can we please toast to the douchebags tonight? Do you know where to find marble conference tables? Looking to have a conference. Not until I get the table though.
At most, his tweets are 140 characters, but the depth of his passion is immeasurable.
Fur pillows are hard to actually sleep on. Man, whatever happened to my antique fish tank?
You'll get all of your favorites.
Classical music is tight, yo. I make awesome decisions in buying stores. French fries are the devil. Black is the new black.
And many, many more. Josh Groban's The Best Tweets of Kanye West includes 752 original songs on 48 CDs.
I love me.
In stores now.
Singing the tweets of Kanye. So now that was funny, right?
Yeah.
All right, okay, that was funny. All right.
I imagine the skit was probably funny too, you know.
Well, it wasn't that funny, to be honest with you. It was a 5, I'd give it, yeah. So I do want to ask you one other thing about the tweets, because I just want to be clear on it. Will you bring up that, do you really think I look like SpongeBob?
I mean, it's the first thing that came to my mind, you know.
Okay. It could be worse, I guess. Yeah. Can I ask you one thing? Where were you when you were writing those tweets? I'd like to imagine on the toilet.
Yeah, that's when I think of the best. I was just at my place here, in my old home here in LA, and you know, as we were writing it, there was a frustration that I was getting out, but also they were really funny to me as I was writing it. And I just thought it was so amazing that I was saying this in real time, in real life. You know what I'm saying? With my position, because people would be so scared to say anything. You know, as soon as you're a celebrity, you're not allowed to say anything anymore, but just to like completely wow out. And the only reason why I could do that is because, you know, we could, you know, speak on a, you know, a similar level, and we can go back and forth.
It was a crazy thing to see that happen as far as just the technology, and all of a sudden, like, everyone in the country knew you and I were having a really dumb fight. I mean...
Yeah. I just thought that was amazing, man. Just to, you know, just crack media in a way, just to, you know, I feel like media does everything they can to break creatives, to break artists, to break people's spirits, and I do everything I can to break media. You know?
Yeah, and you did. Yeah, because you have to be, well, from my standpoint, sometimes I'll think of things and maybe it's 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night and my wife will go, don't tweet that, do not tweet that. Yeah. And, you know, and because people take things out of context, but you just do it, you don't care.
You should have saw the second set of tweets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, let's save them for next time. Well, I just do want to say congratulations on your new baby.
Oh, thank you.
In fact, I brought you a little gift. And I have to say, I did not know, you know, I made fun of this because it sounded so preposterous to me, but there really is such a thing as leather jogging pants, and there's some tiny little leather jogging pants. Leather jogging pants. They don't sound practical. That doesn't seem like a practical item to me. It sounds sweaty.
Yeah, fashion isn't always practical. It's more about
That's true.
Emotion. It's more about swag. It's more about, you know, it's more about like club, you know, it's like, it's more about style and stuff. And, you know, I remember me and my boy Virgil that, you know, created the line Pyrex Vision and helps on Hood by Air and Ben Trill and everything. We sat as interns at Fendi like 6 years ago. We had cue cards and everything, and the leather jogging pants is one of the things that we presented that didn't go through. And the reason why I brought that up in the Zayn interview is because there's people who made whole careers off of creating leather jogging pants. It became like a phenomenon over the past 3 years. And it was to say, you know, I would sit with Hedi Slimane, who's now the head designer of Saint Laurent, and he'd say, stop giving, you know, these big brands your ideas and everything. And it would just be like, what I was trying to express in the Zayn interview is like me, you know, I know I'm a hip hop and I'm a rapper and everything, but I've got ideas that can mean something if I could put the proper production around them. So when I do a Nike Yeezy or I do a Louis Vuitton shoe, the production around it was at the same level as the production on my CD, or when me and Rick Rubin or Mike Dean or whoever are working together. But if I go out and make my own T-shirt or something and I call it Kanye, everybody's gonna think about when I just call myself a creative genius, they say, what's so genius about this? But when people line up for the Yeezy, they're like, oh wow, this is like really genius. You need that production. But currently in fashion and the way the fashion world works, there's no black guy at the end of the runway in Paris, in all honesty. And that's what I was talking about when the Truman Show hit the boat. You know,
what about the Steve Harvey collection?
Yeah, no, there's no Steve Harvey collection. no extra buttons on jackets or anything like that. But, you know, for Michael Jackson had to fight to get his videos on MTV because he was considered to be urban. This is Michael Jackson.
That's true. He was considered a black artist, and it was not right for MTV at that time, right?
Yeah, a black artist. So for me, think about this. When I'm in Paris and I'm sitting in, you know, Fashion Week for, you know, 9 years, and, you know, South Park makes fun of our outfits and all this, or people don't understand why we're there. I'm getting called names, like stuff you can't even say, like, you know, on TV. And I still can't break that wall down. At a certain point, it's like Michael Jackson trying to get his videos on, because how many people, I mean, who do you know is known more for clothes than me? You know, and to not be able to do and produce to the highest level, and to have a meeting with everyone. I'm talking about Andrew Rosen of Theory, this guy over here, this guy that runs this company, Lian Feng, blah, blah, blah. These are the real people that produce the clothes that are on your back. Zara out there with Ortega, H&M, blah, 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 sit down. I mean, Francois Pinault, blah, blah, everyone. And everyone kind of just looks at you like you're crazy and like you don't crash the internet. And you're just like, how can you get a shot? And then you try to do it on your own, and no, like, real designers will work for a rapper, and you just cannot overcome it. And I mean, my grandfather drove the first cars in the marches just to get clean water. And one of the parallels I wanted to do for you is like Richard Pryor used to always talk about, he just wanted, you know, a clean plate. He just wanted to serve his stuff up on a clean plate. So if I do an interview in W Magazine, right, and they take all these classist shots at me, because it's not about racism anymore. It's classism. That's what I talked about. Like Paula Deen, she was old school with it. They're like, we don't do it like that anymore, Paula Deen, all this racist. We're classist now, you know? So this classism is what they do to try to say, well, you're a rapper, or your girl's on a reality show, so you're not up here with us, you know? Like, we're old money. We do this, blah, blah, blah.
It's snobbery. Yeah.
It's snobbery, you know, and I'm not into all that snobbery, like, seriously, because you know what? We have the loudest voice. We have the loudest communication. And, you know, all we want to do is make awesome stuff. All we want is a real shot. Not, okay, I'm a celebrity, so that means my line has to cost $10 a t-shirt. No, I understand about quality. I understand about fabrics. I spent 10,000 hours at this. I dedicated my life to this. Then a lot of people say, okay, well, you know, oh, you have to do music. I'm gonna keep doing music, but what if people told me I couldn't rap? What would have happened? What if people told me I couldn't perform? You know, I'm only 36 years old. I have other goals and other things, and I'm gonna use my platform, every platform, to stand up and say, I wanna make something. I wanna make the next Ralph Lauren. And that was the point of the Zayn interview, that say people don't stand up and protect their dreams. People are too scared of getting, you know, spoofed in a way. And the irony of it is so many people that are creatives. Think about a creative person in school. When you picture them, you probably picture them all the way in the back of class, sketching or maybe getting beat up. And I'm the one creative. And this is the reason why I went on stage. This is the reason why I did this. Because creatives have got beat up my entire life. And there's moments where I stood up to drug dealers in Chicago and said, you can't have my publishing, come and kill me. Do whatever you're gonna do, but you're not going to bully me. You're not going to stop me, because my mother made me believe in myself. No matter how many people tell me, stop believing in yourself. Stop saying what you can do. Stop affirming what you're gonna do and then completing that in real life. That's the improper way to do it. I refuse to follow those rules that society has set up in the way that they control people with low self-esteem, with improper information, with branding, with marketing. I refuse to follow those rules. It's about truth. It's about information. It's about awesomeness. And the only luxury is time. The time you spend with your family. That's the only luxury. So this concept of luxury is improper to me. It's about, you know, with Nike, with Apple. You remember there was phones that cost $4,000? You know, that's ridiculous. Somebody pull out a Virtu phone right now. You look ridiculous. But there's people who still spend $5,000 on this bag, $10,000 on this, to kind of say exactly what I said before. Oh, we're better than you. We're this than you. Yeah, I mean, taste, culture, art. You know, just the quality of life. You know, this is what I'm here to do. So when I compare myself to Steve Jobs or Walt Disney, Howard Hughes, David Stern, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Jesus, or whatever it is, I'm saying these are my heroes. These are people that I look up to. This is the type of impact I want to make on the earth. If I can make this type of impact up to this point, what can I do if you call Bob Iger and say, yo, give him a shot? If you call Oprah and say, yo, back this kid. His parents were educators. He wants to educate. He wants to look at curriculums and say, how do we simplify that? Exactly what I did in music, I want to apply to product. I want to apply to education. This is what my company, Donda, is about. I could rap all I want. But without that Rockefeller chain and Damon giving me that Rockefeller chain, or without getting a record deal, I don't care how many beats I sold to whoever, I couldn't have made it to the point to make Jesus Walks. And now, even as a celebrity, blah, 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 I've reached a ceiling. And the way paparazzi talk to me and my family is disrespectful also. You know what I'm saying? We bring something of joy to the world. When people hear my music, they have a good time. And I should be respected as such when I walk down the street. Don't ask me a question about something you saw in the tabloids. Don't try to antagonize me, because you know what? It's not safe for you in this zoo. You know, never think that I'm not from Chicago for 1 second. And think you can walk up and disrespect me and my family constantly. And people say, well, you signed up to be a celebrity, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know, and I understand, Papa. I understand you got to get your money. It's hard out here, blah, blah. But let's have respect for each other. You do help me get money, paparazzi. You know what I'm saying? You show people how fresh my outfit is. That helps me influence people, you know? But
when somebody shows up at your house in the middle of the night and your wife and your daughter are there, that's not, there's no human decency there.
It's a lack of decency. You know?
Kanye West, everybody. We'll be right back.